Hello friends! We're starting the new week with the price of Bitcoin at just over $105,000 and a crypto market that hasn't seen much action over the past 24 hours. However, serious volatility is expected in the coming days, driven by major economic events. In today's video, we will explain exactly what these events are, along with some other interesting topics related to Ethereum, SUI and the president of Argentina. Finally, we'll check whether the conflict between Trump and Musk continues or if they might bury the hatchet. Now, let's dive into the main part. The crypto market was relatively calm over the weekend. Bitcoin briefly climbed above $106,000 before consolidating around $105,500. Ethereum temporarily broke above $2,500 but later fell below this psychological threshold. XRP, on the other hand, jumped to $2.30, but the rally didn't last long, and at the time of this recording, Ripple's cryptocurrency is trading around $2.23. Among the best performing tokens on a 24-hour basis are SPX, Internet Computer and Quant, which recorded gains of about 5 to 6%. Optimism, FET and WorldCoin are on the opposite side with declines of 3 to 4%. The overall market capitalization of the sector is just over $3,400 billion. The apparent calm could be disrupted by some important and interesting events coming up in the next few days. On Monday, today, senior officials from the United States and China will hold talks in London to ease tensions in their trade dispute, which now also includes controls over critical goods for global supply chains. The goal is to restore progress from the agreement reached last month in Geneva, which temporarily calmed investors. One of the most anticipated events is the release of the May Consumer Price Index (CPI), a key inflation indicator closely watched by the Federal Reserve and investors. Expectations are that inflationary pressures will remain high, and the report will be published on Wednesday. On Thursday, the Producer Price Index (PPI), which measures production costs and is seen as a leading inflation indicator, will be released. On Friday, results from the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index and inflation expectations will be announced. This is the last week of important economic data before the Federal Reserve's meeting on June 18th, where there is a 99.9% probability that interest rates will remain unchanged. The Ethereum Foundation has unveiled a new treasury management strategy aimed at protecting its Ether reserves and ensuring financial stability for the next 2.5 years, with a long-term spending cap of 5%. The strategy emphasizes transparency, operational efficiency, and adherence to the blockchain's core values. Under the new plan, Foundation will allocate up to 15% of its reserves annually for operational expenses and will only sell Ethereum if liquid reserves fall below a set threshold. The treasury will be reviewed quarterly to adapt to market conditions. Part of the funds will be managed through secure and audited DeFi protocols. Additionally, the foundation will diversify its portfolio by periodically converting some assets into fiat currencies. A new philosophy called DeFi Punk, inspired by the cypherpunk movement, has been introduced. It emphasizes decentralization, financial privacy, and open source innovation as guiding principles for funding projects. The foundation has also restructured its internal operations, creating a dedicated finance team that will publish quarterly and annual reports on asset allocation and strategic actions. Furthermore, it renamed its research and development unit to Protocol, focusing on scaling the core infrastructure and improving the user experience. The SUI network hit a new record in decentralized trading in the first quarter of the year, with a 14% rise in average daily volume to over $300 million, according to a Messari report. Cetus and Bluefin were the main drivers, generating nearly $240 million in daily volume. Meanwhile, network fees dropped by 33% to $3.6 million due to reduced activity and user demand. Despite this success, the second quarter brought challenges following a $223 million hack on the Cetus Protocol. The good news is that Cetus Protocol resumed operations just 17 days after the incident. The team recovered about $162 million with the help of validators on SUI and a $30 million loan from the SUI Foundation. Liquidity pools were restored to up to 99% of their original value, with the remainder to be compensated with Cetus tokens over 12 months. Notably, part of the stolen funds have already begun being laundered through Tornado Cash. In response, Cetus strengthened system audits, fixed vulnerabilities, and plans a new bounty program and monitoring improvements. Despite the restart, the Cetus token has lost about 44% of its value since the attack. Moving on to Coinbase, which announced significant progress in solving the long-standing issue of frozen user accounts. According to CEO Brian Armstrong, the company has reduced unnecessary account freezes by 82%, thanks to improvements in machine learning and infrastructure. Despite this progress, many users continue to report long freezes, some lasting months or even years. Complaints also include difficulties in reaching live customer support representatives. Trust issues with Coinbase were further exacerbated by a major security breach in December 2024, compromising the personal data of nearly 70,000 users. In response to criticism, Coinbase plans to further strengthen its security systems. The company remains one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world, with over 100 million users and a leading role as a custodian of spot Bitcoin ETFs. Heading to South America, where Argentina's anti-corruption office cleared President Javier Milei of wrongdoing related to the Libra cryptocurrency scandal. In a June 5th decision, the office concluded that Milei acted in a personal capacity when he posted about Libra on social media platform X in February, and did not violate ethical standards for public officials. Authorities stated that the post was made without using public resources and was part of Milei's personal political and civic expression. Despite the clearance, the scandal negatively impacted Milei's reputation, with trust in his administration falling from over 47% in November to below 42% in March, according to a poll. The scandal erupted after Libra's market cap surged to $4 billion following Milei's post, but quickly crashed by 94%, causing investor losses of around $250 million. Although the anti-corruption office found no violations, a federal court is still investigating. Meanwhile, critics accuse the authorities of failing to conduct a thorough investigation and covering up those responsible. And now, as promised, let's dive into the drama between Donald Trump and Elon Musk and the latest developments. The two clashed over the One Big Beautiful Bill, a tax and spending bill introduced by the United States President last month. Musk criticized the initiative, believing it would cause significant problems for the financial system. Tensions escalated as the former friends began attacking each other on social media and in the press. Trump accused Musk of betrayal and outright called him crazy. To top it off, Trump labeled Musk a drug addict and said their relationship was over. This unfolded amid Musk's idea to create a new political party called American Party, distinct from the Republicans. Notably, Musk launched a poll on X about the initiative, receiving 80% support. Musk's father also weighed in, saying his son is under great stress following his time in the White House, perhaps explaining his recent actions. Despite the conflict, Musk and Trump seem to share common ground on one major issue in America, the unrest in Los Angeles. A few hours ago, the president blamed California Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass for derailing the city's governance and being responsible for the chaos. Musk, in turn, shared the post on X, with both calling for decisive action to quell the tensions sparked by mass protests against US immigration policies and the actions of immigration and customs enforcement. That's all for today, friends. Wishing you a great Monday and see you tomorrow.